A lot of people have this dream, and the dream is how a lazy loser, which most of you are, 99% of you are lazy losers, imagines getting rich and imagines how they're going to become rich overall. So I want to make something clear to you. Anybody who's not rich in the world today is one of three things. You're either lazy, arrogant, or stupid. Most of you are not stupid. I would say less than 5% of people are too stupid to become rich. The majority of people are either too lazy to work the way they need to work, or too arrogant to believe they should work. There's no such thing as avoiding warfare. War is certain in life. War is certain, believe. It's coming for all of us, and you're either at war against the objectives that you're trying to complete and instill the slavery in your mind, or you're at war against yourself. Because if you believe the things they tell you, if you believe the things they want you to believe, you're going to be depressed and sad and unhappy, at war against your own mind. As soon as you get your own mind under control, you end up at war against them, because you're a sovereign individual who believes in personal responsibility and strength. War cannot be avoided. And I want to yell at everyone for a good, prolonged period of time. I would like everybody at home just chill. Cool. Everybody at home who actually cares about their life and actually wants to become something that's important and matters. The next 10 minutes are going to be some of the most important minutes you're going to experience this year, perhaps in your life ever. I want you to pay a lot of attention. So I'm going to give you a few seconds. Put your glass of water down, focus, make sure you can hear me, turn the volume up, sit very fucking still. I keep getting asked various different concoctions of the same question. And what people are trying to do is find a way to escape the matrix, as they should be, and they are asking the correct person, me. Most people who are looking to escape the matrix understand that it is nearly impossible to do without finance. You need to have money. If you don't have money, then you're going to be stuck as a wagey or a brokey, and you're going to be beholden to the systems which you could side skirt if you had enough money. That's true. There's actually a lot more to escaping the matrix, because you also need to build up your physical capabilities, and most importantly, you need to free your mind to the point where you can say the truth even to your own detriment, even if it ends up putting you in jail. But I digress. It is an important stage for you to make some money, correct? However, a lot of people have this dream, and the dream is how a lazy loser, which most of you are, 99% of you are lazy losers, imagines getting rich and imagines how they're going to become rich overall. So I want to make something clear to you. Anybody who's not rich in the world today is one of three things. You're either lazy, arrogant, or stupid. Most of you are not stupid. I would say less than 5% of people are too stupid to become rich. The majority of people are either too lazy to work the way they need to work, or too arrogant to believe they should work. And this is not just for people watching at home who have no money. This is also for people watching at home that have a little bit of money. If you do not have millions and millions of dollars, considering the period we just went through where the matrix was completely cracked and broken, and the money printers were on full, and free money was being given out everywhere, and Bitcoin went up to the moon from nowhere, and all this money was just appearing on the fucking street. You could scoop it up off the side of the road. If you do not have millions of dollars at this point, you are either lazy, arrogant, or stupid. I meet a lot of business people, and I speak to a lot of businessmen. I speak to a lot of people, especially who have online companies, or I see on Twitter, etc. And most of them are so brutally arrogant. They think they're interesting. They think they have a brand. They think they matter. They brag about how they got saw in a Starbucks once. But truthfully, they're broke nobodies. Nobody gives a shit about any of these people, because they're so arrogant they're not prepared to do work. None of you, or very few of you, are too stupid to become rich, but the majority of you are too lazy or too arrogant. What you're hoping is going to happen to you is the lazy person's dream of how you become monumentally wealthy. And that is as follows. You have this idea that if you come into something first, if you come in before everybody else, you can rape it with very little effort, and you can become rich. And then by the time everybody else catches on to it, you'll already have heard about something else, and you'll move on, and with very little effort, you will once again rape this gold mine that you found, this ecosystem. You'll destroy it, rip it apart, take all the money, and vanish without ever doing any work. That is not true. The reason that is never going to happen is because every single time any ecosystem, any gold mine, any salt mine, any fucking diamond mine, whatever, any pile of money is identified, groups of people are going to flock to it. And of course, there's a massive advantage of being early, but there are two types of people who are going to flock to this pool of wealth. There are the lazy losers who think, I'm in early, I can make easy money. And there are the professionals like me. I am a professional, and if I find a pool of money, and if my team find a pool of money, if HU or the War Room or any people who are associated to me find a pool of money, we do not operate under the guise of laziness like you clowns do. We don't turn up and go, this is easy money, I can make a little bit of money. I don't have to try very hard. We think if we were to try as hard as possible, we can take everything. We can put him out of business, and we can put him out of business, and we take all the money from him, and by the time everyone else heard of it, I've taken it all. Let's imagine it this way. There's a gold mine. We've discovered some gold in a river, down over there, yonder way, past Wyoming. If you get over there, there's a gold rush. Go quickly. And you turn up, and you have a little shovel, and you dig for an hour a day, and you get a little bit of gold, and you're richer than you've ever been. And you have all those free hours you can just spend sitting around jerking off and being a fucking dork. I turn up with my team. I don't want to work an hour a day. I want to work 18-hour days. I want to build cranes, and I want to have all of my staff on site. And I want to take the whole river, and I want to build a dam and block it all off so not a single fucking piece of gold gets past me. And then I'm going to sieve every single piece of dirt, and we're going to bring in heavy machinery, and we're going to take all of it. And you are going to be sitting there with your shovel in one hand and your dick in the other, broke. Because you had a chance, but you were fucking lazy. And if I see a chance, the difference between you and me is that I don't believe in being lazy with anything ever. Let me give you an example. If you found out how to make $10,000 an hour, you would sit there and say, I only have to work an hour a week. Whereas I would say, at $10,000 an hour, I should only sleep 2 hours a night. I should make $220,000 a day. And that is what I would do. And that's why I perpetually win. So, the lazy loser's dream is that you can get in early on some garbage and not try very hard, and then you can make a whole ton of money, and then you can jump to the next thing once everybody else catches on. That's never going to happen. What can happen is you can get in early and work extremely hard and become extremely wealthy. And the fantastic thing about this is you only have to pull this off once. One time is all it takes. If you could just dedicate yourself to something for once in your fucking life, put the porn down, get your dick out your hand, and focus for once in your life, for one period, you could be rich forever. All you have to do is not be a lazy loser. So a lot of people message me going, hey, I want to get in early before the other people are in, blah, blah, blah. Listen, there's no point getting in early if you're lazy, because I'll come along after you and destroy you. Do you understand? It's not just about getting in early. It's also about doing the work.
So what is happening on July 14th?
I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
And getting in early to what?
I'm getting there. So,
okay.
I'm going to talk about all the times I predicted the future. Anybody who's been following me long enough throughout all my reincarnations on Twitter has seen me. I bought $300,000 of Bitcoin when it crashed all the way down to $3,000. They've seen me be the first when I talked about DeFi. I was in cake at pennies. It went all the way up to $18 or something ridiculous. We made like $20-30 million off that. We've called Bitcoin, we've called DeFi, we've called so many things in advance and told people you can make untold amounts of money if you just get in and work hard. We've been doing it with Hustle University and War Room for years. And what annoys me is when I tell people, don't you wish you were in early on Bitcoin? They say, yeah, man, yeah, if only I knew. But the worst thing is, they didn't know. They heard whispers. They heard the name Bitcoin here and there. They didn't take it seriously. They didn't research it. Or even if they did, they looked at it and goes, maybe I'll put in a little bit of money. They didn't get a second job to get more money to buy more Bitcoin. They didn't try. They heard about it. They thought maybe I could get in on it, maybe. They heard some whispers and didn't research. They took their lazy ass and got a lazy shovel down the river, fucked around with a little bit of sand, made a tiny little bit of gold, and gave up. They didn't attack it properly and ruthlessly, and that's why you did not make generational wealth off of your chance. You fucked it up. There's something else happening right now, and it annoys me because everybody knows what I'm about to say. I'm going to say AI. You have already heard about AI. You've already seen on Twitter AI. You know people are talking about AI. You know AI is here to stay. They're not going to wake up tomorrow and decide to not use AI anymore or just turn it off. It's here forever. If you get in early and you work hard, you can use AI to become something that matters and stop being a piece of shit loser. But despite all of this, despite the fact that you hear about AI, you know it's going to take over the world, you know you're no longer going to be competitive without it, you are still so brutally lazy and arrogant that you're either A, one, not using it at all, or two, if you're using it in some amateur, lazy, bullshit way.
Like flirting with ChatGPT and
like a nerd.
With your dick in your hand.
With your dick in your hand, again.
Like a nerd.
So, AI is even more important than the Bitcoin you missed, It's more important than the DeFi you missed. It's more important than all the things I talked about. I predicted how COVID was a scam. I've made money on the war in Ukraine. I've made so much money, and it's all public record because I'm never, ever wrong. So when I say this to people, I say, so what are you doing with AI? They go, nothing. Why nothing?
Well, just for the record, money for the war in Ukraine, because he knew Russian sanctions wouldn't work. We don't profit from wars.
Correct.
Just putting that out there.
So the most crazy thing about this AI stuff is you can actually use it to do things that are kind of interesting. Imagine you're a total dork nobody. Sorry, most of you don't have to imagine. You're a total dork nobody. You could actually use AI to pretend you're a superhero. You could pretend to be me. So I have full-time teams inside of Hustle University, which are using AI to produce endless amounts of content. We are producing movies. We are producing comic books. We are producing cartoons. We have an Andrew Tate voice. We have endless TikToks being generated by machines and put out to the matrix, letting people know that your mind can be free. Thousands and thousands of man hours are being produced inside of minutes using AI. And we will teach you how to use AI so you can also do the same thing. And when you miss that chance and you don't learn how to use AI, you're going to sit around in 5 years from now and go, hey man, I wish I could get in early on the next big thing. The big thing is here. You're just a lazy moron. You can either stay poor, stay a loser, or for once in your life, you can be ahead of the curve and do something before everybody else does it. But do not do it lazy. Do not be the person in the river with the little stupid spade. You must attack it with all of your might, all of your gumption. You must be like me. You must attack fully and absolutely and conquer the space, leaving no room at all for competitors. That is the most important thing you must do if you want to be successful. Because I tell you something, when your progeny, when your grandchildren come up to you and say, why are we brokies, Dad? Why didn't you listen to Top G? You're going to have to explain to them that you watched this podcast and understood exactly what I was saying, and you knew AI was here to stay, and you knew it was going nowhere, and you didn't know how to use it, and you made no effort at all to learn, and that's why you stayed a fucking loser. You're going to have to explain that to your bloodline. I don't have to explain anything to my bloodline. Me and my children and my great-grandchildren will be flying in the sky on private jets as you eat the bugs. Talk about how we told all of them to get in on AI, and they were still too stupid to do it. In conclusion, do not ask me what the next big thing is. Do not have this fantasy that you're going to get into something early and that you're not going to try very hard and become rich. Because even when you hear about things at an early stage, you do not act. And if you do act, you're competing against men like me who are not lazy. The only way you're going to get rich is to be perspicacious, to be indefatigable, to pay attention. And when you have a message from the matrix, from the universe, like the message you're receiving right now, to take action, to one, take action, and two, try your absolute best with complete fervor and genuine dedication. And then if you do that once, if you can do that once for a short period of time, you'll be rich forever. Do not ask me how to escape the matrix again unless you already have AI machines working for you day and night like I do. As I sleep, my machine minions continue to conquer the internet and attack the matrix. I'm the most canceled, most attacked, one of the most disliked people on the planet by the matrix, and I am fighting back using machinery, machines, and the heart and soul of honest men. If I can do it, a little fucking unknown dork like you can certainly do it. So you have your answer. There's no reason not to learn. We will teach anybody with a brain who's prepared to work hard exactly how to benefit from AI.
So,
and the actual serious point is, I know we've been having a joke in this emergency meeting, but we've got to a point where they're going to tell you that going to the gym, becoming physically strong makes you a bad person, because as soon as you become physically strong, you're more likely to sit and think for yourself because you have an innate ability to disagree with people because you're no longer fearful.
Yeah.
You also have, it's impossible to train your body without training your mind. You also train your mind, you become critically thinking, and you become the kind of person who understands dedication and hard work and discipline, and you start to wake up and realize that only hard work can get you where you want to get in life, and that nothing comes for free, and you're not going to buy into these socialist slave mind garbage. So they're going to sit there and say that going to the gym makes you a bad person, because going to the gym innately is going to teach you all of the realities of the world, and they don't want you to live in reality, they want you to live in fantasy so they can inject their slave mind into you. So now, even being in good physical condition makes you a bad person. Who said that? The Independent said that?
well, yeah, I believe so. And a bunch of other newspapers that are obviously full of shit, because but despite the people who are going to cut up our clips of us saying we are Nazis because we go to the gym, we are in fact not Nazis.
And that's why it's so important that you do train, because you are wearing a t-shirt there that says resist the slave mind.
How are we going to resist the slave mind without physical strength?
How are you going to resist the slave mind if the people who are trying to inject the slave mind into you can grab you by your neck and snap you?
The 360,000 Americans who fought to free the South from slavery were strong men. They had to be strong to resist the slave mind. If they were a bunch of pussies who sat around jerking off to porn all day, the South would have won the war and kept people enslaved.
Correct. So it's very important that you're physically capable. This is when I was talking earlier about how to escape the matrix. You need to, one, have money, but you also, two, need to be extremely physically capable, because you're going to learn a lot of things about yourself in that journey. And also, when you reach the final form, if you're ever lucky enough to become as powerful as me, like a Super Saiyan, you can stand up against the matrix and say, no, kill me, try, shoot me, hit me with your last bullet, unfazed. You do not just become strong for your body, you become strong for your mind. You have to have a capability and a propensity to resist enslavement, and that requires not only the ability to have an open and free mind, but to have physical strength. After this EM, I want to make something else very clear to you guys. I speak to a lot of people, a lot of fans come up to me. People who say they're huge fans of mine, they watch all of my content, etc. If you come up to me and you're a brokey, or you come up to me and you look weak, you're not a fan of mine. If you're a fan of mine, you're an extremely diligent, hardworking person who's trying to become as strong as possible and trying to become as rich as possible, because you understand that is how you save yourself, you save the people you care about, you save the people you love, and you save the world. It's how you protect yourself as a man. It's also how you protect your women, or your woman, or your mother, or your daughters, or your children. All of it requires you to be physically strong and for you to be financially savvy. If you come up to me and you look like a brokey, or you look weak, you are not a fan of mine. Fans of mine are extremely wealthy and they're extremely strong, because I tell you exactly how to do it.